So, the past few weeks I've had carpal tunnel syndrome. Because I had those very long piano practice sessions that would go for usually about 3.5 hours, and I did it for probably 3 to 5 consecutive days. And the issue with something like piano practice versus working out is that, well, I'm sure it could happen when you're working out, but during piano practice, the injury is much more gradual, so it's much more difficult to notice than if you're working out and you do an exercise wrong and immediately you get the feedback of, oh, I pulled a muscle or dropped a weight on my toe or something like that. So I noticed that I was getting tingling sensations in my forearm and wrist and hands, but I didn't realize I was getting it until it was too late. I did, I think in my last video or in my last vlog, I was reaching down to scratch my ankle and I got a sharp pain in my wrist. And so that's when I realized that I really have to stop practicing and reevaluate where I'm doing. And since then, it's felt kind of like I've been on the brink of intense injury, and so I'm very glad I stopped. I ended up going to the doctor, and the doctor said that it was carpal tunnel syndrome based on what I described, and it's really a big bummer to not be able to work on things that I want to work on for several reasons. I mean, obviously, I enjoy the things that I was working on. It's difficult when I have this ambition towards improvement in whatever thing I'm doing, and it's emotionally difficult to give it up. It's also difficult communicating it to my parents and other people because it's one of those kinds of injuries where it's not visually obvious, especially because I don't have constant pain from it. Most of the time when my hands are idle, I don't have much pain. Usually it's just like very subtle sensations, but then sometimes when I'm grabbing something or twisting like a door handle or whatever, I can feel like kind of warning sensations, but most of the time it's not intense pain, but it's a very preventative type thing where I want to avoid doing any substantial task with my hands because I know that can lead to greater difficulties. But yeah, it's the type of thing that's not very obvious where like you're not, I mean, I think I'm supposed to get braces for my hands or for my arms, but I haven't done that. I'm not sure if it's going to be on the agenda, but I think historically my parents, when something isn't visually obvious, or if there is something lacking rather than some so with it, when you're wearing a cast, there is something there. There's something physically present that it's an indicator of some negative condition, whereas sometimes there's an absence of something that you need, or something that's I don't know, just it has an absence of a visible presence. And I think traditionally when my parents haven't seen some sort of visual indicator, they've been much less likely to acknowledge it. And I think that it feels kind of the same way with this. I mean, they have been supportive with me recovering from my injury, but it's kind of like it feels kind of like they're needling me sometimes, to like I'm trying to avoid work or something like that, which can be very frustrating. And I mean, I think that it's the same way with a career path, where when I was in college, like it's a traditional avenue towards learning the things that you're supposed to learn. And when it's there's an institution around it, and it's somewhere that you're paying a lot of money to go to, and so it feels more substantially present in a person's lifestyle. Whereas if I'm doing things independently, it's not like a station in life. And I'm not sure if I'm sure there's a much more effective way to phrase the general situation, but it's like there is no institution around me independently teaching myself the things that I want or need to learn. And so they've been a little bit more reluctant to acknowledge it, um, despite in my perception it being a much more effective experience in college in many aspects. But slightly tangential, I was thinking about an idea that I don't know if it has a label, but if it does, I would like to learn it, or for someone to tell me what it is. And it's the type of thing that has appeared. I've seen it appear in a number of pop culture works of fiction. So there's deducing the presence of something based on an absence. So, for example, in a science fiction setting, I'm sure it's also with black holes and stuff. Like you can't one of the defining factors, one of the defining attributes of a black hole is that it's an absence of light, and we can determine a presence based on that absence. And I lost my train of thought a little bit, but I'm interested in what is that? What is that? Is there a label for that, of determining a presence based on an absence, or deducing some logical fact based on the absence of something? And it also happens in not scriptures, but I mean, I'm sure it happens in scriptures, but in the Jewish or Judaic textual canon. And I can't think of a specific instance, but I know that in certain discussions of Judaic law, there's sometimes you can determine a principle based on the absence of some subject or something along those lines. Well, in any case, that obviously wasn't a complete summary of everything that's going on, but yeah, it's a little bit depressing. I mean, it's kind of substantially depressing, not being able to work on the things that I love, and not being able to work towards my ambitions. But it's what has to be done in order to succeed. There's sometimes it's important to be active in pursuing your goals, and sometimes it's important to be passive. So I'm definitely trying to come to terms with that. Okay, I hope you're doing well. Have a good one. Talk to you later. Bye.